Akinwumi Abodunde. Residents of Akure have again raised concerns about the filthy state of the Ondo State capital. The heaps of refuse that dot the state capital and visible at every strategic junction, according to residents, must be urgently cleaned. Some of them who spoke with Osrc while monitoring this month's sanitation exercise called on the appropriate authorities to be proactive. The report was put together by Adeleye Ologunagba and presented from our studio.
Journey began from the Orita of Bele axis to roadblock through Obade Shida Road, lining the streets and junctions as taking refuse dumps, in some cases encroaching the streets, thereby blocking drainages and defacing the aesthetic of these neighborhoods. Investigations by Osrc reporter who monitored the development in some locations revealed that some of the private sector participants in waste evacuation, especially the said El Global Alliance, has left residents to their fate with abandonment of sticking waste on major roads, streets, and junctions. For the residents, the intensifying rainy season has eroded fear because a part of diseases as a call to the appropriate authorities to wade in.
Everywhere is very dirty, and then Ishi Junction, you put very free in Ishi Junction, but that is not okay, and everywhere is smelly. I want to play dirty.
Oh, mi gan lára, wájú ilé mi yan fún mi lára. Ọjọ́jọ́ environmental modern ṣiṣẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn atúnkẹ́ igun síbẹ̀ kí ìjọba jọ kán ràn mí lọ́wọ́ kán wá bá mi ṣe ojú títì kí gbogbo ẹ̀ mọ́ bó ṣe mọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀.
All efforts to speak with officials of ZL Global Alliance proved abortive as representatives on the ground, the Ika community in Iro, Ijemikin, and Odokwetu markets, with heaps of refuse posing potential hazard to residents, as pointed out by people living in the area.
I'm knowing for the first time now, but by the grace of God, this morning I was invited to this place to see it. So, but we are going to find solution to this refuse.
Commissioner for Environment Sunday Akinwalere, while condemning the filthy state of the state capital, assured residents of lasting solution to the menace.
We are appealing to Zega now, more than ever, that they should be more proactive in their waste collection. And henceforth too, we won't allow any agent, any agency of government, any contractor that are not living to the billing to go away without being talked to. Government cannot do it alone. Anything about environment should not be left in the hands of government to do. It is for us, all of us.
Also, General Manager, Ondo State Waste Management Authority, Mrs. Ayo Adeyemo, warned residents against indiscriminate dumping of waste and advocated proper packaging of waste from the point of generation.
People should stop bringing this waste to these places we are talking. If people refuse to bring this waste, we cannot generate waste. We generate waste on a regular basis, per minute, per second, but we should try as much as possible to stop bringing this waste to this media.
She also hinted that any private waste collector found wanting the discharge of his assigned duty will be sanctioned.
Meanwhile, residents of Owo in our local government area today joined their counterparts across the state to observe this month's environmental sanitation. The environmental officers in the local government area barricaded major roads to enforce the order on restriction of human and vehicular movement between 7 and 10 in the morning. Secretary of the local government, Mr. Taye Adaku, who led other officials on the monitoring exercise, lauded residents' cooperation, urging them to be committed to a clean and healthy lifestyle.
We are achieving the zero tolerance of cleanliness. That's the desire of Mr. Governor to ensure that we have a clean Owo local government. And we have been up and doing in this regard. From the highway patrolling, we've been clearing and cleaning the whole places. Some people are violating the rules. So our magistrates, we need that mobile courts to try people to prosecute.
Away from sanitation issues, as part of efforts to build capacity to drive an efficient workforce, the Ondo State government has flagged off executive management courses at the Public Service Training Institute in Ilaramokin, the head of service, Adeniro Adeyemo, at the launch of the programs, urged civil servants to use the opportunity provided by the programs to improve their capacities. OSRC's Oladoyin Ayebusi reports that the programs are tailored towards the needs of officers at management levels.
As part of its efforts to promote capacity building in the public service, the Ondo State government, through its Public Service Training Institute, has established a platform for public servants and educational managers across the state to level up with best practices. Globally, the flag-off of executive management courses held at the Public Service Training Institute, PSTI, Ilaramokin, Ondo State. Public servants were charged to develop themselves on their job by acquiring new knowledge that will help deliver to the citizens' intentions of the government. Head of Service in Ondo State, Mr. Adeniro Adeyemo, said the reskilling efforts in human capital development by the government was to drive the workforce for efficient service delivery.
Education advancement and refinement is a dream of every progressive-minded person in any establishment, and for this reason, we must all endeavor to put all hands on deck to ensure a smooth sailing of the programs, and that every knowledge acquired must be put to use in our various workplaces so as to promote competencies and productivity within the state public service.
Also, Permanent Secretary of the Civil Service and Chief Host of the event, Mr. Jide Ekpobomini, said the agenda was to equip the top hierarchy of the state public service with the needed capacity and certification to upscale their performance on the job, noting that the program will run in 2 batches per year for 6 months each.
We have pulled a lot of faculty members, resource persons who are going to facilitate the programs. Among them, we have not less than some 30 PhD holders and 5 professors, and others of various degrees in various fields of human endeavor. And we believe with this collection, we are going to really impact very positively on the public service.
The Institute's registrar, Mr. Frederick Orunko, said the program runs for a period of 6 months with about 1,000 candidates that have been admitted for executive management courses.
Like I call them leadership courses, like I call them management courses. It's a professional diploma in the public sector management for civil servants, and it's going to be a continuous thing after the first batch that we terminate in December. Another admission will take place in January.
Responding on behalf of the educational managers, State Chairman, Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools, ASUS, Mr. Tajuddin Olatunji, appreciated the state government for creating such opportunity, saying the training and the retraining are necessary to fill identified knowledge gaps with the civil service. The 2 programs being launched at the Public Service Training Institute are Executive Management Course for Educational Managers and Executive Management Course in Public Sector Management. Oladoyin Ayebusi, OSRC News.
Still talking about the nation's development drivers, but this time in the health sector, the National Association of Resident Doctors has given the federal government 2 weeks to implement agreements concerning their welfare or face industrial disharmony. The association gave the ultimatum after its National Executive Council meeting held in Lafia, Nasarawa State. In a communique issued at the end of the meeting, NARD President Dr. Dari Godia Ishaya said the doctors will reconvene in 2 weeks to review the progress made so far as it relates to their demands. The doctors are asking the federal government to expedite action on the payment of the newly reviewed Medical Residency Training Fund so its members can meet up with the closing date of the examination registration as advertised by the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. They are also demanding the immediate implementation and payment of the new hazard allowance and arrears as contained in the circular from the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission. Other demands include payment of the skipping arrears for 2014, 2015 and 2016 to the 7 members and immediate immediate payment of consequential adjustment of the minimum wage to its members who have not benefited since it was implemented several years ago, among others. Now let's check politics and political issues. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it will deploy over 200,000 BVAS machines for the 2023 general elections. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, said the BVAS will be deployed in the 176,000 polling units across the country, and the surplus will be kept handy as reserve. Okoye further said that technical officers will be on standby at every rack to attend to issues that could arise in the course of the polls. The INEC Commissioner assured Nigerians that the Commission has the capacity to conduct credible general elections in 2023, saying it is poised to replicate the achievements and successes recorded in the Ekiti and Osun governorship polls. Okoye added that tomorrow's deadline for the ongoing CVR remains sacrosanct. Staying with political issues, the leadership of the Northwest Zone of the All Progressives Congress has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to extend the voters' registration to allow more eligible voters acquire their permanent voter card. The Zonal Publicity Secretary of the party, Musa Mada, who made the call in Kaduna, said thousands of eligible voters may be disenfranchised if the registration exercise is not extended. The Northwest Zone comprises Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Jigawa, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Zamfara states. Mada said the call for the extension had become necessary following mass rush by eligible voters to get registered ahead of the 2023 general elections. He also urged INEC to consider the possibility of creating additional registration centers, saying it will ease difficulty faced by eligible voters. You're watching the news at 7 on OSRC television. You can also watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Ondo, and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Ondo. Stay with us. It's still the news at 7. Thank you for staying with us. The governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, says alumni have a major role to play in the development of their alma mater. At the official inauguration, unveiling and handing over ceremony of a newly constructed hall and remodeled frontal school fence of Loyola College, Ibadan, by the 6872 set, Governor Akeredolu noted that government alone cannot solve the numerous societal challenges. The governor, who is a member of the 6872 set, appreciated his colleagues for naming the newly constructed hall after him. Government House correspondent Wahab Ankole reports that the event was attended by top government functionaries, including the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, and the governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi.
For the 1968-1972 set of Loyola College, Ibadan, Oyo State, the construction of a hall and remodeling of the school's frontal fence not only symbolizes their love for their alma mater, but also a time of happy reunion of 50 years. The newly constructed hall, named after Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, a member of the set, was unveiled by Most Reverend Dr. Gabriel Abegunrin, the Catholic Archbishop of Ibadan Diocese, and inaugurated by the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and Governor of Ekiti State, Kayode Fayemi.
Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who is a distinguished member of this state in recognition of his commitment and loyalty to his colleagues and the entire Loyola community.
The set, known as Verita 6872, also remodels the frontal school fence, which was commissioned by the Oyo State Governor, Mr. Seyi Makinde. In his address of welcome, the President, Loyola College Old Boys Association 6872 set, Dr. Segun Oshin, said the project is part of their contributions to their alma mater. While advising the school authority to put the edifice to good use, he called on the Oyo State government to return the college to its missionary owners.
As a mark of great appreciation to God Almighty in enabling us to accomplish this feat, we donate to the school a newly built ultra-modern hall, which has been named Oluwarotimi Akeredolu Hall.
In their messages of goodwill, Governor Kayode Fayemi and Seyi Makinde applauded the kind gesture of the old boys, noting that they have assisted the school, the Catholic Church, and the people.
We must thank His Excellency and this set for giving back. In many of our schools, the old students have become the pillars that hold those schools strong, and it is almost a normal thing that only schools with long years of production of old students are able to sustain the challenges of the moment. Every time that we can see people, association, philanthropists that can support the government, I'm always very thankful. So today, on behalf of the government and people of your state, we want to say thank you to the Loyola College.
Governor Akeredolu, who appreciated his colleagues, the 1968-72 set of the Loyola College, for the honor, equally called for the association to sustain the good work and fellowship. The governor also challenged students of the college to be extraordinary in developing the school in the interest of future generations.
The school that molded me, the school that have all the pride in Loyola College was everything to me. And when my mates, when all of us sat together trying to build this hall, and in their own wisdom, they chose to name after me. I felt honored. I thank them for my speech, and they have done so well for me. And that's why it's my happiest days. It's my happiest days.
Highlights of the event include decoration of Governor Akeredolu and his wife, Betty, with a special regalia to appreciate their support for the Citadel of Learning, while the school's cultural troupe also entertains the gathering.
The Nigeria Police has dismissed an inspector, Mr. Richard Gele, who was caught in a viral video dignifying and justifying the extortion of members of the public. Until his dismissal, Mr. Gele was attached to the police mobile force 77 squad in Okene, Kogi State. A statement by the police spokesperson, Olumiyewa Adejobi, said the inspector was found wanting of the charges leveled against him, in line with extant laws governing the conduct of police personnel. According to the statement, Gele ceases to be a member of the Nigeria Police Force with immediate effect and has been dedicated and handed over to the Commissioner of Police, Kogi State, for further necessary action. The statement reiterated the force's staunch commitment to excellent policing in tandem with international best practices and warned personnel to eschew extortion, unprofessionalism, official corruption, and other inappropriate acts. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force has inaugurated a committee to combat terrorists' financial streams. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, during the inauguration, tasked the committee to review documents from the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit and provide necessary information for the effective functioning of the Financial Action Task Force in the country. The committee, headed by Adigbite Olaolu, will also provide data on anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism financing, and counter-proliferation findings to determine the level of the nation's implementation of the strategic modalities in place to tackle insecurity and financial crimes in tandem with international best practice. The IGP, while reiterating the commitment of his administration to tackling the menace of money laundering, terrorism and proliferation of arms financing, enjoined members of the committee to work assiduously towards attaining the mandate given to them. He reassured Nigerians of better security in the country as all hands are on deck to re-strategize in the fight against insecurity. And moving to the foreign scene, a judge in the United States has ruled that civil lawsuits brought against Libyan strongman Khalifa Haftar can be heard in federal courts. Haftar, who is a U.S. citizen, is accused of war crimes and extrajudicial killings. He is fighting to take control of Libya and wants to run in the long-delayed presidential election. Odunayo Soya reports.
Haftar is liable.
For years, these activists representing families killed and injured in Libya have been coming to this U.S. courthouse, trying to convince a judge that Khalifa Haftar should be held civilly liable for what his forces have done in Libya. And on Friday, the judge agreed, saying he is financially responsible for torture and extrajudicial killings. Haftar didn't testify in his own defense, but those suing described indiscriminate crimes against civilians, including the bombing of a hospital.
They bombed it, and when this Libyan person, he attempted to run into the building and save people from the building, and he was hit by another bomb that was shelled over the hospital, and he ended up dying. You know, these are the common folks.
Those suing also hope this impacts his political future in Libya.
The message that is being sent is that how can you allow a criminal who has committed egregious crimes and who is